Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Spotlight Series highlighting our Industrial and Systems Engineering graduate certificate and master's degree program. My name is Erin Tanaka, and I represent the Viterbi Admission and Student Engagement Office within the Viterbi School of Engineering. And I'm happy to be joined today by our program faculty members, including Professor Dasuki, Professor Botlick, as well as Professor Costa, who will be available to talk about the various programs, as well as answer your questions throughout the presentation. Just go ahead and get started. So just one quick note, I will be sending a follow-up email for those of you that are joining us for today's live session. So within a couple of business days, you will receive an email that has a link to the presentation slide. So no need to jot down links unless you need them right away. In addition, throughout the session, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A panel to the right of the session. And if the questions pertain to the full audience, then those will be able to be answered during the Q&A session portion of the presentation. And if they're a little bit more personalized questions, then I will be able to answer those at the end of the session as well. So for today's program, I'll start out by talking a little bit about the USC Viterbi School of Engineering, and then we will turn to the graduate programs in Industrial and Systems Engineering that our program faculty members will be presenting. We'll also talk about some frequently asked questions, and then, as I mentioned, we'll have the opportunity to have a Q&A with the program faculty members in which all of you that are live will be able, during this session, will be able to ask your questions at that time. So these are some snapshots of our beautiful campus if you have not already been to USC's campus. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm not, okay. Actually, this is the right, okay. Sorry about that. Got confused for a second. So the University of Southern California, we are the oldest private university in the Western United States. We were founded in 1880. Currently, we have 46,000 students, and as you can see there, our graduate student population is well over 26,000 students currently. We have over 4,700 full-time faculty members, and that doesn't include many of our adjunct faculty as well as our guest lecturers that come from a variety of different fields and industries and bring their experiences to the classroom. We have a very diverse student population, so we have students from all over the world, all over the country, so, you know, all different walks of life, you name it. And we are located in Los Angeles, so if you're not familiar with the Los Angeles area or even California, we are, as our name says, located in Southern California, and we are about a 10 to 15-minute drive from the downtown Los Angeles area, and we have access to many surrounding companies that are really looking to hire our Viterbi students. And so, but beyond Southern California, USC is very well known to have connections throughout the country and throughout the world with a variety of different industries and corporations worldwide. So a little bit about the Viterbi School specifically. We are comprised of 8 academic departments, one of them being our Daniel J. Epstein Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering, which we'll be focused on today. Our student population, so we have over 5,400 graduate students, and that includes both our master's degree, our PhD students, as well as graduate certificate students. And our faculty members, so we have 189 tenure track faculty members. We have 33 National Academy of Engineering members, which, if you're not familiar, is one of the highest achievements that you can receive as an engineer. And we have over 90 National Science Foundation Career, National, and Presidential Young Investigator awardees. We are also a leader in funded research, so we have over 35 research centers currently with over $212 million in research expenditures annually. So if you are interested in learning more about the research that the Viterbi School is conducting at any given time, we do encourage you to visit our viterbischool.usc.edu website for more details about that. But now I want to be able to introduce you to our fantastic faculty members from the Daniel J. Epstein Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering. So we have first and foremost our Dr. Majid Dasuki. He is the chair of the Daniel J. Epstein Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering. He is also the Dean's Professor of Industrial and Systems Engineering and Spatial Sciences. We also have Professor Geza Botlick. He is the director of the MS in Engineering Management program. He's the Associate Professor of Industrial and Systems Engineering Practice. And then finally, we have Dr. Cesar Acosta, who is the director of the MS Analytics program. He's also the Associate Professor of Industrial and Systems Engineering Practice. Okay, so one of our frequently asked questions is, what master's degree and graduate certificate programs are available within the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department? So I'll first have Professor Dasuki talk about those briefly.
Thank you, Erica. We're very excited about our programs. We offer a wide variety of programs covering basically all the dimensions of industrial engineering, and I'll basically discuss the three, I would say, general degrees. We have, and those are the MS in Analytics, the MS in Engineering Management, and the MS in Industrial System Engineering. And just to differentiate the three is you could think of the MS, Industrial and System Engineering degree, basically as an extension of your undergraduate degree. If you have an undergraduate degree in Industrial and System Engineering and you want to learn more about the field of industrial engineering, the master's degree is there. So it's a blend of both quantitative and qualitative courses. If you're more interested in the kind of the analytical side and the quantitative side, the MS in Analytics degree, which is right now our most popular degree. And then if you're more interested in the qualitative side, we also have the MS in Engineering Management. So those are really the three foundational programs that cover kind of the general areas, depending on whether you're interested in the quantitative, and the industrial and system degree is really the one that's in the middle. It has both a qualitative and a quantitative dimension. But besides those three, we have, I would say, some specialized degrees that are much more focused for particular industries. We just relaunched our Master's in Health Systems Management Engineering degree. We also have, if you're interested in just working in the manufacturing sector, we have the MS in Manufacturing Engineering. And if you're interested in operations research, we have a master's in that. And the last master's program we have are those who are really interested to be design engineers, and that's the product development engineer. The little screen you see beside every degree, those are the ones that you could take through DEN. Those are the ones you could take strictly through online. The ones that are not ones that require in-person only instruction. The ones on DEN don't necessarily mean that you have to take it on DEN. They're also big, in fact, the majority of those are in-person instruction too. It just is, if you're interested in taking those in DEN, you could. Now we have a certificate on health systems, which is a much more reduced requirement than the MS in Health Systems Management degree. And then we have a number of dual degrees. Most of them are dual with the engineering management, and Professor Botlick will talk a little bit about the dual degree in engineering management. And also we have a dual degree with the MBA program between ISE and MBA. And we'll talk a lot more about these degrees as we move on, but this is kind of a quick overview of the degrees we are. Next, please.
Thank you. So now we're going to move on to the analytics program. So what types of courses are part of the MS in Analytics program, and who should pursue the MS in Analytics program? So I'll turn it over to Professor Costa to talk about the program.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for coming today. I am Professor Acosta, Director of the Masters in Analytics program at USC. So let me give you an overview of our program. So the Masters in Analytics is the newest program in our department. It was created in 2016. So at this time, we are completing the 5th year, and we are receiving around more than 150 students every academic year. So the program is oriented to students interested in a career in data science and analytics. It is a nice balance from 3 areas: statistics and math, computer science, and business applications. So in statistics and math, the students review the fundamental concepts that are needed for what is the necessary machine learning and statistical learning methods that are needed for the other courses that are applied type of courses that I am going to discuss in a moment. To discover information from the data, students need some computational tool, and those tools are primarily coming from computer science, and I am going to discuss that in a minute. And then they have a bunch of courses in which they review applications, most of them business related, in financial analytics, business intelligence, text analytics, and consulting courses that we have in our program. The students are trained, as I mentioned here, in advanced machine learning and statistical learning methods. So whether it is about finding a pattern in principal component space or finding new market segments using some type of clustering technique, the idea is that they are able to discover hidden information from the data they have available. So that is the focus on our program. Our students come from many diverse backgrounds. We have students from engineering, from business, economics, science, math, computer science, and many other areas. And that mixture gives our program an advantage over other programs related to analytics and data science available on campus or nationwide. The students are able to develop a portfolio of projects that are solved and constructed throughout the courses that they take throughout the program. And that helps them a lot. Most of our students come with the intention of finding a job in data science and analytics. But some of them, probably a small proportion, but important as well, come with an interest in moving forward their academic background to the PhD level. So we try to include courses and applications for both ends. So we have applications for business applications, experience. We provide the students experience that they need to get the background needed for the job and for the job search. But also we review the fundamental topics that are needed if they want to move to the PhD level, either in ISC or in data science related programs. So if we can move on to the next slide, please. So this is our program. As you can see, we organize it in 2 columns. The students are required to take 4 courses, currently 4 courses of 3 units. They are on the left column: Introduction to Data Management, Predictive Analytics, Optimization Methods, and Data Mining. On the right column, they have to take courses from 2 groups, Group A and Group B. They have to take a single course from Group A and 2 courses from Group B. Group A are courses that in which the students are able to develop at least one final program project. They are integrative analytics, data analytics consulting, and performance analysis with simulation. And if, for example, the student is interested in PhD level, I strongly suggest the students to take ISE 533 integrative analytics. But if they are mostly interested in applying on the job the concepts that they learn here related to data science, we strongly suggest the students to take consulting, data analytics. We have a lot of students, a big proportion of students working now in consulting companies. And if they are willing to move forward to prospective analytics, then ISE 580 is a big useful tool for that end. So in the Group B course, they are able to select courses depending on what their particular interests are. We have courses in financial analytics, text analytics, and they also have courses in simulation, Markov models, or decision analysis. Those are our 3 courses related to prescriptive analytics. And if that is what they want, we have those courses available there. In addition, on the left column, they are able to select 3 courses which are electives. One of those electives is expected to be from our department. It has to be an ISE elective. And in addition, they are able to take two free elective courses from any unit in USC. Some students chose to take courses from computer science. Some students chose to take courses from our Marshall School of Business or from Dornsife School of Natural Science and Math. So we have a very diverse group of courses available for students to complete their program. So as I said, this is a nice mixture from 3 areas. The students are able to learn the fundamentals, the computer tools that are needed to work with data and to apply the algorithms that they learn throughout the program. They are going to learn Python, R, SAS, SQL, and other tools throughout the program to a very, very advanced level. So they are going to be able to apply all the tools right away from the very beginning, semester number 1. So I strongly suggest you to consider our program. I think it is going to be a very important advantage to your background, and it's going to open you a lot of opportunities that are available nowadays out in the job market. Thank you very much. That is an introduction and overview of our Masters in Analytics.
Thank you so much, Professor Acosta. It was very helpful. Great. Okay. Now, moving on to the Master of Science in Engineering Management program. So who should pursue the MS in Engineering Management program? What are the benefits? And then Professor Botlek, if you could also talk about the difference between the MS in Engineering Management program versus an MBA program.
Basically, the program is intended to prepare engineers for careers in management, especially management positions which involve managing technology one way or another. Reason for having a program like this is that almost here, but generally, about a third of all engineers actually become.
Giza, you may have to speak closer to the microphone. You could be barely heard. You have to go louder, yeah.
Thank you. A third of engineers become managers. They're faced with problems that they simply are not prepared.
Still a little louder, Giza.
Oh, wait a minute, maybe I can make it louder.
I mean, it was better, but it's still
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Better, yeah.
Okay, I slide the thing over. Sorry about that. Okay. So obviously the program is not limited to that. It's really also extremely useful for engineers who already are managers, especially first-level managers, to understand what management is actually all about. I can speak from personal experience. My first promotion into management was rather rocky. It took me a while to really find my footing, and when I look back on it, I really see how much more this program had actually done for me by actually taking that. The other thing it does, especially for recent bachelor graduates, increases your employability. First of all, you have another degree, and second, you are also probably able to have management. Or,
Mr. Botlick, I think we're having a little bit hard time hearing you. Can you do a little bit louder?
I think so. Does that make it louder?
That's better.
I got it turned up as far as it will go.
Like you maybe
Okay.
you may move the speaker closer to you. I think that could be a problem too. You need to speak closer to the speaker. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think it's on top of the screen, so I gotta move closer. Is that working now? All right, can you hear me?
Better. Just try to speak as loud as you can. Okay.
All right. Okay, so let me have the next slide, please. Okay, so this is sort of repeating what we just said. Working engineers benefit by having much more. Clearly, you can always earn more. It helps you understand the job and manage, especially managing other engineers. We generally have about 100 to 125 students. Sometimes as many as 200. We generally graduate about 50 a year. Also graduated this summer. About 50% of the students are actually off campus. They are distance students. And of course, they can come to campus if they actually want to. That's why they couldn't actually want to. We have time professors who are involved in our program, and are very fortunate. Southern California, many professionals also have teaching experience. Some of our industry experts have been teaching part-time for us for some of them for over 25 years. Most of them in 7 or 8 times 10 years. The students go into almost any kind of field. Cesar mentioned one of our main areas is consulting firms, but the other is all kinds of supply chain jobs. And but I have graduates in small manufacturing firms, I have graduates in countries. They're really all over. It's very hard to say any specific area. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Oh, I forgot about the MBA thing. Yes, that's one of the most frequently asked questions. And the distinguishing feature is that take an MBA, really are in finance or marketing, one of the business areas, really are much less concerned with technology. So if you get a master's in engineering management, really are intending to manage technology, manage people who are working with you. So obviously, if you want to go into finance directly, MBA is probably good. But the other advantage is that shorter than MBA programs, and so done faster. Okay, I'm ready.
Hello, Giza. Giza.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take over the next slide because you're barely audible, and then you could pipe in if you're not heard. We could barely hear you. We could.
No idea.
So I will be poor imitation of Professor Botlick, but at least hopefully you can hear me, and he could chime in if I miss something.
Okay.
So the next slide, please. So as Professor Botlick mentioned, this is really a program that is geared for those who are interested in an engineering management role, who really are interested in I would say a mix of a management position that is focused on managing technical people. And so therefore, this is I would say one of the biggest distinguishes between this and MBA is it does still have a technological component to it. It has definitely the management courses, but it has more than that. It has some of the technological courses. What it doesn't have that an MBA has, of course, is the marketing type courses those type of courses that you would get at MBA that this program does not offer. There's really four basic core courses in this program. One is you can't be a manager in today's environment without understanding statistics. It is part of our everyday life, especially with the abundance of data. So one of the core courses is statistics. Another, of course, is engineering project management. How do you manage projects? And these are very, I would say, very project-based courses. You will actually work on actual projects and that are based. The number, as Professor Balek mentioned, this program is taught by a mixture of full-time faculty and also a lot of part-time faculty who are out there doing the actual work, and they bring these projects into the classroom. Again, another core courses is again the difference between an MBA and this is that you will be trained to be a leader of people who are technical skills. So understanding team environments and how they behave and function is very important. Another core areas. And of course, any manager must understand the economic analysis of any project. And those are the four fundamental courses. As I mentioned, we do want you to still be competent of technical skill sets so that when you talk to your team, you understand the basis. So you have to choose one class as Professor Acosta mentioned, we have an analytics program, and you have to pick one course that's focused really more for the analytics student. But these courses don't have a prereq, so therefore our engineering management students do quite well in these courses. Also, you must understand technology and the role of technology in society and in the firm. And so we have one course that you must take in the technological aspect. Next slide, please. So we have, I believe, 4 tracks in here, and tracks focus you on a particular concentration area. And what they see on this slide is 2 of the tracks. And in the tracks, you must take 3 courses out of the 5 or 6 that are listed. And those are only required if you choose to pick that track. One track is, of course, the management track, which focuses on mostly just the managing of the individuals and the management side of the business. The next track, which is actually going to be quite popular, is the analytics track. So this is the main difference here for those people who are trying to study the analytics track in engineering management versus the strictly just taking an analytics degree. Is the students interested here are interested in, I would say, a mixture of both the management side and the data science side, analytics side. And the ones who are strictly going for the analytics degree are 100% interested in just going deep in the technical side. And so another track that we have is, next slide, please, is innovation is a big part of our society. And innovation is really the driver of many things. And this track really focuses on the innovation side. We have a number of courses that focus on innovation. How do you manage technology? What's the invention process, commercialization, and the development implementation phase. So we're proud that we are one of the few programs that offer such a wide variety of courses and technology and commercialization. It's a big part. It's not just a function of the Epstein IC department. It's a big part of the Viterbi School. We invest a lot on innovation and technology, and we're proud of that dimension. And another popular track, actually, is a very popular track, is the supply chain and operations track. The students here are, I would say, in the mix of trying to do whether they're doing the engineering management with the supply chain track versus an IC master's degree, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But here we have a number of courses in supply chain. We have a course on inventory systems, production systems, a course on SAP, which is the 583 course, and then there's a number of courses in the business school that focus on supply chain that our students can take. So those are the different tracks in these program. And next slide, please. So do we offer degrees with the MS in engineering management? Yes, they do. We have a dual degrees with a number of different engineering majors. We offer a dual degree with the aerospace department, with the mechanical engineering department, electrical engineering, and petroleum. You have to seek admission in both departments, and typically our admission standards across departments are pretty uniform. So if I would not be too concerned about that. If you qualify for the engineering management program, you're certainly going to be qualified for the other programs and vice versa. And again, you could send an email to Dan at Viterbi for questions about the dual degree. Next slide, please.
Perfect. Yeah, and actually, I do have a couple of questions from the audience. So the first is engineering management a thesis-based program or a project-based program?
So we have no master's degrees that are thesis-based. Although it's an option, and you can do it as an elective, very few students take it. Almost all our degree programs, not just engineering management, are much more project-based, meaning the projects are embedded in the courses. They're not separate outside the courses. So as Professor Acosta mentioned, in the analytics program, there's courses that we specifically geared that has the student work on a final project. In the engineering management program, as you see in the engineering project management course, that's also another course where students must complete a project. And so we're a much more project-based program than we are a thesis. Although students have that option, but very few take it.
Great, thank you. And thank you all for sending over your questions. We will actually be answering those during the Q&A portion at the end of the session. So, but thank you so much, and continue on sending those over. So the next and last question is, what are the types of courses that students take within the different master's degree and graduate certificate programs offered within the industrial and systems engineering, and who should pursue the individual programs? Professor Dasuki?
Oh yeah, thank you very much. So I hit a little bit on this earlier in the presentation. The three general programs are the engineering management, analytics, and the IC. And I think we've covered the other two. So one is the engineering management qualitative side with a technological analytics bend, but it's a mixture. And then the analytics for the students who really want to go deep into the analytics data science field. The degree that's really in the middle is the industrial and systems engineering degree. That's the one that kind of blends the two, and it's also an extension of the bachelor's degree, focusing a lot on the quantitative techniques and supply chain management. The reason I say supply chain management is because a lot of our students in this degree go on to supply chain careers and logistics careers and consulting careers. And so if you could see in the required courses, 3 of the required courses, I would say even the project management, are focused on logistics and supply chain. You have the inventory course, the production course, and the SAP course. Although SAP is general, it's beyond just supply chain, but it's a big part of supply chain. It's hard to imagine being a practicing supply chain consultant without being familiar with SAP. For that matter, for any kind of industry. So those are the 4 required courses. And then again, you have some sub requirements. One is the Group A, which is more the deterministic optimization courses. Those are the courses that, one is the 530 course borrowed from the analytics program, and 536, which is just linear program. So it's basically using optimization to manage scarce resources. That's the 536 course. And then the Group B is more of the quality management for engineers and design of experiments. So those are kind of a mix of qualitative management and statistics. And Group C is the stochastic processes, the simulation-based, the queuing analysis. And then on top of that, you have 3 electives. Now, I want to stress, the electives can be anything. They could be also other ISE courses. For example, if Group A really interests you, you could use one of the 530 as a Group A course, and then you can use 536 as one of your electives. So the electives aren't something that's completely different. They're really the ultimate of flexibility. You could take more than one course in a group and use one of them as an elective. Next slide, please. So the manufacturing students is really those who really want to work in a manufacturing environment. And I'm not talking about the manufacturing environment related to the production side, the operation side. I'm talking about the manufacturing side in terms of technology, those who are interested in manufacturing processes. And the courses in this program are really geared, like your courses in 3D printing, computational design and manufacturing. So this program, and you have courses that are quite a few courses that are offered at the mechanical AME mechanical engineering department that focuses on manufacturing. So this is really much more hands-on technological degree that you would find, and this is a very lab intensive program, and the reason there's a lot of electives is because we want the students to create the flexibility to take courses that matches their interests of which manufacturing processes. If you're, for example, if you're interested in robotics, we allow students to take computer science courses that are focused on robotics in the CS department, and that are actually cross-listed within the ISC departments and throughout. Next slide, please. The OR, I would say, is the most technical degree that we offer, and it stems from really taking, I would say, the little exposure you have in OR as an undergraduate industrial engineer and really going in depth. And Professor Costa was mentioning students going on for PhD. We get the most of those really in the OR students. Those who are really focused on the fundamentals of the mathematics behind the tools. You have the course on network flow, again, the linear programming, the stochastic processes, the simulation, and then you have so there's a number of required courses in this area. And then you have to take 2 electives that comprise 6 units. And I believe that leaves you then with 1 course and a free elective, which you are free to take. This program, I would say it's not nearly as large as analytics program. I would say it's significantly smaller, but it's a very focused program for those students who are really interested in optimization and stochastic theory. From a marketplace point of view, I would say the analytics degree probably is more geared for those who want to become professional data scientists. For those who are really trying to build their methodological skill set so that they're interested in going on to a PhD, this might be the program for you. Next slide, please. And this program is actually a joint program with the AME department, and it's really focused for those who want to work in design. And it's actually the only program that we offer that has the smallest number of units here. It's the requirement's only 27 units. And it really is focused on product design and development. And there's 2 courses that are required. There's 2 different tracks. One is the product development technology track, and the other is the systems track. Those are the 2 big tracks. But independent of the track, all students must take the 501 and the 545. The 501 is the conceptual design, 545 is the implementation. So we first do the design, and then we do the implementation. Now, depending on whether you go into the development track or the systems track, then the requirements change a little bit. I'm going to focus more on the product development track because this is a joint program. The students in ISE tend to focus on the systems track almost exclusively. The students who go into mechanical engineering tend to focus more on the product development track. So I'll just focus, because of time, I'll just focus on the systems track. So again, because in design, again, you have to understand the management side. We have the 2 requires the courses that we have that are based on the engineering the management program. And then we have a number of electives that you must choose 2 out of 6, and they're listed there. And then finally, we have 3 free electives that you can take out of this program, and that's the MS in Product Development Engineering. Next slide, please. Now, this is really the one that is very interesting, because the MBA is about 60 units. The ISE degree is 30 units. So combined, they're 90 units. USC offers you to get both an MBA and an ISE degree for 66 units. And a minimum of those 18 units must be from ISE and 48 from the MBA. So this allows you to focus. The MBA is not as technological as the ISE degree. So this allows you to pick up the technology skills from our department and more of the management courses over at the business school. And combined together, it's slightly more than just an MBA by itself. Next slide, please. And our last program I'll describe is really a new program that we recently relaunched, where we're very excited about. This is a joint program from our department, the medical school, Keck, and the School of Public Policy, Price. Together, we've put together, I think, really a revolutionary program which focuses on healthcare delivery. And so if you're interested in the healthcare industry, but you're not interested in being clinicians, this is really a chance for you to get involved. And I think a lot of the things that you will see in this degree is going to really prepare society much more to address future pandemics as we see today. A lot of the issues that made the situation with COVID much worse is because we really didn't have an effective healthcare operations. And the students in this program, the nice thing about this program, and this is the thing that I think is very unique in our program, is that we focus on methodologies, but most of them are in context of healthcare. So you're not only learning about methodologies, you're learning them in context of healthcare. So that way, when you go out and work in the industry, in the healthcare industry, you could speak the language and you're exposed to the industry. So we have a course on healthcare operations management. So you could think of healthcare, we have ISE courses just on operations improvement, but we've developed a special course on operations improvement just for the healthcare industry, which focuses on just healthcare examples. We have practice, instead of having an engineering project management course, which is the general one, which is required, we also have a project course just for the healthcare industry, which actually matches you with hospitals to work on actual projects. And then one of the required courses is actually from the Keck School of Medicine. This is taught by clinicians who then teach you the issues in the healthcare industry. So the language that they use, so that when you go work and practice, you'll know the language that the doctors use. What's the delivery process? What impacts their decision making? How it affects, because we know nothing gets done in a medical setting unless you have the approval of the doctors. And so this course gets you on that footing and gets you into that their mindset and their decision making. And of course, IT is huge. I mean, I can't think of any industry where IT is more important than healthcare. And I think one of the big things that made it very difficult during the pandemic is that the healthcare IT systems weren't really up to standards. And I think having some basis in this is going to really help in the future healthcare systems. And then you have to take a healthcare, again, as I said, we have quality management courses, but we feel that quality management courses for students coming from this program must be in the context of healthcare. Again, we have courses that are offered that are quality courses in the healthcare. And then again, like all degrees, you cannot graduate without understanding some aspect of data science or analytics, and you have to take one course in that. And then you have 3 courses of approval. Again, this course can be offered through DEN. Next slide, please. We also, for those who are really not interested in a full-blown degree, we offer a certificate in this program, which reduces the requirements from 31 to 17 units. So, and it focuses basically mostly on the required courses and the Linux course. Next slide, please. Okay, so as you can see, we have a wide variety of degrees. So the short answer is everywhere, but a more precise answer is, I would say the number one is consulting. A lot of our students go work in consulting because our as Professor Costa mentioned, the analytics program is very popular for going into consulting on data science. So is the ISE degree in engineering management and some of the other ones. I would say supply chain and logistics is another big industry that our students go work in. Technology firm, I think because we're in California more so than anything, puts us at the same footing as Stanford or Berkeley in terms of placing our students in technology firms. A lot of our students will go there. Healthcare, and not just the healthcare delivery, not just the healthcare providers, the whole industry. Amgen hires our students, which is a big biotech pharmacy firm. And then the service sector, Disney, firms of that nature will hire our students. Next slide, please.
Okay, so I'll take over at this point. Thank you so much, Professor Dasuki. So that question is, can I pursue a master's degree or graduate certificate completely online on a part-time basis? And so the answer is yes. So these are the programs in industrial systems engineering that can be pursued fully online via our Jenna Viterbi delivery. And I'll talk a little bit about that, the delivery method next. So there's really two options, essentially. So we have our on-campus students who tend to go full-time and take 2 classes per semester, and they typically take about 1.5 to 2 years to complete their degree. But if you are going to complete your degree program in a year and a half, then typically you would be required to take courses during the summer. In addition, as I mentioned, we do offer our online Jenna Viterbi delivery, and that typically, because the large majority of our online students are working full-time, they tend to take 1 to 2 courses per semester, but it is flexible. But typically also because of that pace, we see on average our Jenna Viterbi students graduating about 2.5 to 3 years to complete their degree. But again, it can be flexible as long as you complete your degree in 5 years with the ability to petition for additional 2 years. So how Jenna Viterbi works. So Jenna Viterbi is USC Viterbi's proprietary web-based system. And so we know there's a lot of different online delivery out there, but the way that our system works is that you are able on a normal basis to watch the lectures live as they're happening on USC's campus. So you're in the same exact courses as the on-campus students. And that's great to do to join during the live session because you can ask your questions on the spot. But if you can't attend during the live sessions, you can also watch the lectures on your own time via the course recordings. And so you can watch them as many times as you need to during that semester. And then finally, if you are located nearby in the Los Angeles area, and once the campus is back open safely, then you would also be able to come to campus and sit in on lectures alongside your on-campus peers. In terms of exams, you would take your exams, if you are in the Los Angeles, Orange, or Ventura counties, you take them at USC's campus. Otherwise, there's a number of proctor locations that our Jenna Viterbi exams coordinator can assist with finding a location that is convenient for wherever you are working or living. So I won't go through everything here, but just, to give you an idea, a Jenna Viterbi versus on-campus student. So the program admission application is exactly the same. There's no difference there. But essentially, everything else is pretty much the same as well. So the lectures are exactly the same. The course requirements, the assignments, exams are exactly the same. You're in the same exact program, whether you're online or on campus. Just a couple of differences. So USC on-campus students tend to, if they are pursuing a program on campus, you are expected to come to class for those lectures, of course, when the campus is back open. And you only have access to the course recordings if there's a Jenna Viterbi student classroom. So just a key distinction there. So if you need that flexibility to watch the lectures online, then we do encourage you to consider the online Jenna Viterbi delivery method. But either way, whether you choose online or on campus, there's no distinction whatsoever on your diploma whether or not you are an online or an on-campus student. You're earning the same exact degree. So just some additional information. So in addition to applying for formal admission, we also have what's called limited status, which allows qualified candidates that have an undergrad degree in engineering, math, or science with at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale to get a jump start on taking classes before applying for formal admission. And so it's limited, though, in the sense that you can only take up to 12 units. And so you can actually get started as early as this coming summer term. So if you're interested in that, you can find more information and complete the Jenna Viterbi profile to get started as early as this summer. We also have the Employer Reimbursement Deferment Program, which is for those students whose companies can defer their upfront payment of up to 90% of the tuition until after the semester's over. So rather than paying out of pocket, they can wait until after the semester is over, but you do need to follow the requirements that are indicated there per semester, every semester that you wish for this to apply. So another question is, I've decided to apply for admission. Any tips on getting started? So to get started, first and foremost, you'll want to confirm the application deadlines. So for fall 2021, the deadlines have passed for both scholarship consideration and final deadline, but you see the asterisk there. And so if you are planning to pursue your program online via Dana Viterbi, we do encourage you to reach out to us at danaviterbi.usc.edu to find out if we do offer extensions and on a case-by-case basis. So we do encourage you to reach out if you're planning to pursue your program fully online. In addition, spring 2022, scholarship consideration deadline is August 31st. That is for on-campus applicants. And then the final deadline is going to be September 15th. But it is really important that you review the application criteria. Given that there are so many different programs within industrial systems engineering, we do encourage you to go to the individual program page, and you'll want to look at the specific application information tab of that program page to find out the specific requirements. So to get started, if you are interested in becoming an on-campus student, right now, the best thing to do is to visit the USC campus virtually. There's a virtual tour that you can watch. Also, of course, start your application for formal admission. Same thing applies for online Dana Viterbi applicants. Go ahead and start your application for formal admission. If you want to know if you still have time for fall 2021, please feel free to reach out to us. I will provide the contact information at the end of the session. And again, if you're interested in the limited status, you can start by completing the Dana Viterbi profile as early as possible. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the questions. So thank you all for your questions and your patience throughout this session. So the first one I have is, this is for the engineering management program. So, what qualities do you expect in a potential student for the engineering management program? So Professor Boswick, would you be able to touch upon that?
Yeah, give it a try. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We're basically looking for students who are interested in becoming managers and have a very good engineering background or from the sciences. Doesn't matter which program you come from. One of the advantages of the program actually is having a very diverse student population. You have mechanical, civil, electrical, aeronautical, computer science, and also have physics and chemistry. So we have a chance to really involve people who are slightly different fields than what you are.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And just to touch upon that as well. So, it's really important that you do, read the specific requirements for the engineering management program. You do have to also have, an undergraduate degree in engineering, math, hard science, or related field as well. But, if you want more information about the engineering management program, feel free to use the Q&A panel and we can send you more information about that as well. And then another question is, this one can go to Professor Dasuki. So how does the MS Industrial and Systems Engineering program differ from the MS in Systems Architecting and Engineering program?
Am I unmuted? Yeah, okay. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, so it's quite different. The system architecture program is much more, it's changing. It's much more focused in the aerospace industry and much more focused in the systems aspect. The industrial and systems is focused on the systems aspect, but it's also focused on quantitative techniques. It's a much more methodological program. So, and the students that would graduate from the ISC degree would go on and work in the supply chain, and a lot going on and work in the supply chain logistics jobs, whereas a lot of the students who graduate from the SAE degree would go on to work as systems engineers in the aerospace industry.
Great, thank you so much for that. And then another question I have is, I'm a working professional, and are the courses live or are they available as recorded presentations given the different the time difference? Also, are grad school transfer credits accepted? If so, how many? So I can answer that first part of the question. So, you know, as I mentioned before, you know, all of the lectures are available via the course recordings or the course archives, and that would happen after the lecture takes place until the very end of the session. So you are not required to attend the live sessions, but you will be required to make sure that you stay up to speed with the course assignments. But you are welcome, you know, to watch the recordings as often as you need to, and it is very convenient for working professionals that are located in different locations. And then in terms of transfer credits, so there's a maximum of 4 units that can be transferred from another graduate institution, but you would need to receive the departmental approval in order for those units to be transferred over. And you also would need to be formally admitted into the program.
I would add on the transfer units that you cannot transfer classes that you used for another degree at another institution.
Great, thank you for that as well. Okay, so it looks like, let's see. I do have a question here. Does the ISD department allow international students to take a semester-long internship or CPT period?
Yes. As long as they can, as long as they could do it in terms of through getting the visas through the students' visa services to change and get a CPT, it's allowed. Right, but they have to maintain your full-time student status. You have to maintain your full-time student status, and you could do that through taking project-based kind of DR courses. So you, as an international student, there's a minimum number of units you have to take, and you have to be enrolled. I don't know the exact number, but as long as you're maintained as and enrolled at USC and considered a full-time status, you could do it.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, so it looks like all of our questions have been answered. So I do want to, first and foremost, thank you all for joining us for today's session. Hopefully you found it as insightful as I did. So for those of you that are looking to pursue your program as an on-campus student, we do encourage you to email viterbi.gradprograms@usc.edu. We also have, for Dena Viterbi students, denaviterbi.usc.edu. And then also, if you would like to set up a phone call with us, please feel free to email us and we can set up a phone call as well. But thank you, all of you, for joining us for today's session. Again, thank you so much, Professor Dasuki, Professor Bottlick, and Professor Costa. Very much appreciate all of you for your fantastic insights. But thank you all so much. Have a great, fantastic weekend. Take care, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Bye.
Everybody.